So in this module 1, in the first session, we'll discuss the introduction part of the first module. So the content of today's session is as follows. So first of all, we'll discuss historical perspective. Then we'll discuss what is material science and engineering, why to study material science and engineering. Then we'll discuss the different classification of materials. At the end, we'll discuss the summary of today's session. So the first of all, we'll discuss historical perspective. The advancement of civilization has historically depended on the improvement of materials to work with. In fact, early civilizations have been designated by the level of their materials development. So Stone Age, Bronze Age and Iron Age are the eras where in case of Stone Age, most of the materials were made up of stone. Bronze Age, most of the equipments, tools were made up of bronze, and in Iron Age, most of the instruments, equipments are made up of iron. So that's why the era at that particular situation, it is named on behalf of the materials which is widely used. So you can see how materials influences the human evaluation. The earliest humans had access to only a very limited number of materials. With time, they discovered techniques for producing materials that had properties superior to those one of the natural ones. These new materials included pottery and various metals. Furthermore, it was discovered that the properties of a material could be altered by heat treatment and by the addition of other substances that we call as an alloying nowadays. At this point, materials utilization was totally a selection process that had involved deciding from a given rather limited set of materials. Material science and engineering is an interdisciplinary field of science and engineering. Various composition and structure of materials are of primary importance to control material properties through synthesis and processing. It is useful to subdivide the discipline of material science and engineering into material science and materials engineering subdisciplines. Strictly speaking, material science involves investigating the relationships that exist between the structure and properties of materials. In contrast, materials engineering involves, on the basis of these structure property correlations, designing or engineering the structure of a material to produce a predetermined set of properties. From a functional perspective, the role of material scientist is to develop or synthesize new materials, whereas a materials engineer is called upon to create new products or systems using existing materials to develop techniques for processing of materials. Structure. In brief, the structure of material usually relates to the arrangement of its internal components. In detail, our structure we will discuss in next coming modules. Property. All materials are exposed to external stimuli that evoke some type of response. For example, a specimen subjected to high stress amplitudes resists to deformation. This property is called as hardness. Generally, definitions of properties are made independent of material shape and size. In addition to structure and properties, two other important components are involved in the science and engineering of materials, namely processing and performance. Material scientists and engineers not only deal with the development of materials but also with the synthesis and processing of materials and manufacturing processes related to the production of components. The term synthesis refers to how materials are made from naturally occurring or man-made chemicals, and the term processing means how materials are shaped into useful components to cause changes in the properties of different materials. One of the most important function of material scientist and engineer is to establish the relationship between material structures, its performance and properties. With regard to the relationship of these four components, the structure of a material depends on how it is processed. In order to illustrate this, you can see the material science tetrahedron, which is provided in this particular slide. A material performance is a function of its properties. Thus, the relationship among processing, structure, properties and performance is nothing but material science tetrahedron. In order to understand more about material science tetrahedron, we will discuss the example of alumina disc. So example of processing, structure, properties, performance and principles. In order to understand, we will discuss the example of this 3 alumina disc. 3 tin disc specimen of aluminum oxide have been placed over a printed page in order to demonstrate their differences in light transmittance characteristics. The disc on the left is transparent, that is virtually all light that is reflected from the page passes through it. Whereas one of the center is translucent, in meaning that some of this reflected light is transmitted through the disc. And the disc on the right is opaque, that is none of the light passes through it. These differences in optical properties are a consequences of differences in structure of these materials, which have been resulted from the way materials were processed. So means it is very clear that the structure of the properties, structure of all the 3 discs are different due to their difference in processing. So processing affects structure, structure affects properties, properties affect its performance. Next, why study material science and engineering? So as we know, as already we discussed, it is an interdisciplinary area where many sciences and engineering streams merge together. And one of the most fascinating aspect of material science involves the investigation of material structure. It is also called as a microstructure, but that term we will discuss later on. The structure of materials has a profound influence on many properties of materials, even if the overall composition does not change. For example, we will take pure copper wire. We will bend it repeatedly. The wire not only becomes harder but also becomes increasingly brittle. Eventually, the pure copper wire becomes so hard and brittle that it will break. The electrical resistivity of the wire will also increase as we bend it repeatedly. In this example, take note that we did not change the material's composition. The changes in the material's properties are due to a change in its internal structure. If you look at the wire after bending, it will look the same as before. However, its structure has been changed at the microscopic scale. The structure at the microscopic scale is known as microstructure. If we can understand what has changed microscopically, we can begin to discover ways to control the material's properties. So this is very important statement as far as the strengthening mechanisms are concerned, because in most of the strengthening mechanisms we are going to control the microstructure, and if we control the microstructure we can change the final properties of the materials. One more example of steel sheets which is used in manufacturing of car chassis. In the automobile chassis, a material is needed that possesses extremely high strength but is formed easily into aerodynamic contours. Another consideration is fuel efficiency. So this sheet steel must be thin and lightweight. The steel sheets also should be able to absorb significant amount of energy in the event of crash, thereby increasing vehicle safety. So these are somewhat contradictory requirements, and it is a very difficult to merge, it's very difficult to satisfy all these contradictory requirements. So role of materials engineer is very important in this particular scenario. Thus in this case, material scientists are concerned with steel sheets composition, strength, weight, energy absorption properties and formability, or we call as a malleability. Material scientist would examine steel at a microscopic level to determine if its properties can be altered to meet all of these requirements. Many times materials problem is one of the selecting the right material from the thousands available. The final decision is normally based on several criteria. The more familiar an engineer or scientist with the various characteristics and structure property relationships as well as the processing techniques of material, the more proficient and confident he or she will be in making judicious material choices based on this criteria. Next is classification of materials. So here we will not discuss in more detail about classification of materials. You just go through the textbook which is available to you and you can study the classification of material. So first classification is based on 5 group classification, where metals and alloys, ceramics and glasses, polymers, semiconductors, composites are classified. It is a very classical 5 group classification. Next classification is functional classification of materials. We can classify materials based on whether the most important function they perform is mechanical, biological, electrical, magnetic or optical. The last one is classification based on its structure. You just go through it in any textbook which is available to you and you can study the classification of materials. Finally, we will discuss summary of today's session. So materials science and engineering is an interdisciplinary field concerned with inventing new materials and devices and improving previously known materials by developing a deeper understanding of the microstructure, composition, synthesis, processing relationships. The properties of engineered materials depends upon their composition, structure, synthesis and processing. An important performance index for material or devices is their performance to cost ratio. The structure at a microscopic level is known as the microstructure. Many properties of material depend strongly on the structure, even if the composition of the material remains the same. This is why the structure property or microstructure property relationships in materials are extremely important, and this particularly topic, that is microstructure property relationships, we will discuss in more detail in the upcoming sessions. Materials are classified mainly on 5 group classification, that is metals and alloys, ceramics, glasses, glass ceramics, composites, polymers and semiconductors. Materials can also be classified as crystalline or amorphous. Crystalline materials may be single crystal or polycrystalline material, that is material classification based on structure. Selection of material having needed properties and the potential to be manufactured economically and safely into a useful product is a complicated process, requiring the knowledge of the structure, property, processing, composition relationships. So role of material scientist is very important in this particular scenario, where he or she has many number of materials available to him or her, and he has to select the optimum material from different alternatives based on performance, cost, economy, manufacturing groups, etc. So this is one of the example that we are going to discuss at the time of interaction, but you just solve it. It is a simple example. It is based on the simple materials knowledge. You just go through it and you solve it, and in the interaction session we will discuss this particular example in more detail. Also, I would like to go through one of the simple and beautiful case study is Liberty ship failure, which is available in W.D. Callister book. in edition 9 in the page number 5 it is available, or you just go through, you just google it, liberty ship failure, you will get more literature there, you just go through it. And again we will discuss this liberty ship failure case study at the time of interaction. So thank you.